Time News on TV1. For the News First team, I'm Dithmini De Silva. Let's start off with a look at the headlines. Debt restructuring will not have an adverse effect on the banking sector, an assurance from the governor of the central bank. Sri Lanka gets $700 million from the World Bank. President invites everyone to join hands and be united in a common cause to achieve domestic, regional and global goals. An additional payment of 40 million rupees made to supplier for the import of nano-nitrogen fertilizer has not yet been recovered, says the National Audit Office. Air Vice Marshal Udeni Rajapaksa appointed as Commander of the Air Force. Who will qualify for the ICC World Cup? The decisive round of 6 begins. Moving on to the top story, a special media briefing was held at the President's Media Centre today to provide an explanation regarding the debt restructuring process. The media briefing was attended by the Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, and Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, Mahinda Siriwardana. Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe assured that the debt restructuring program will be carried out in a manner that would not adversely affect the banking sector of the country. The Governor went on to note that bonds issued by the Central Bank and bonds purchased by the EPF and ETF will be restructured under the program. He added that all of these bonds will be reissued under new interest rates. Accordingly, the newly issued bonds will be at an interest rate of 12% until the year 2025, after which it will carry an interest rate of 9%. The Governor of the Central Bank further assured that beneficiaries of the EPF and ETF schemes will not face any issues in withdrawing funds due to them. Now let's cross over to the toss of the Cricket World Cup qualifiers.
Sri Lanka up at the
Best Eid Mubarak. Welcome back to the news. On to more local news. State Minister of Finance Dr. Ranjit Siambalapitiya says Proposals related to domestic debt restructuring will be submitted for the approval of the Committee on Public Finance today. He said the Committee on Public Finance is due to convene at 2 p.m. today.
This will be discussed again today and tomorrow by the Committee on Public Finance. It will be presented to Parliament thereafter to be debated and approved.
The State Minister of Finance said the President, Finance Minister released $700 million to Sri Lanka to create macroeconomic stability and sustainability. Another aim is to provide relief to poverty-stricken people and to provide the necessary support for the preparation of basic reforms that support the private sector. RMAL Ratnayake has been appointed as the new chairman of the Election Commission. The appointment was made by President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Meanwhile, Air Vice Marshal Udeni Rajapaksa will take over as the 19th Commander of the Sri Lanka Air Force with effect from tomorrow, Friday the 30th of June. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has appointed Udeni Rajapaksa to the position of Air Force Commander while also promoting him to the rank of Air Marshal. Born in Colombo in Western Province in 1969, Air Vice Marshal Udeni Rajapaksa is a past pupil of Bandaranaike College, Gampaha and Ananda College, Colombo. He joined the Kothalawala Defence Academy, Ratmalana, as an officer cadet in October 1988 in the 6th Officer Cadets intake. During his career, he also served as a fighter pilot as well as a transport pilot. Moving on to more local news, millions of Islam devotees across the globe are celebrating Eid ul-Adha or the Hajj festival today with great fervour. It is also called the Festival of Sacrifice and Commitment. Issuing a message for Hajj, President Ranil Wickremesinghe invited all Sri Lankan citizens to join hands during this Hajj festival and be united in a common cause to achieve our domestic, regional and global goals. In his message, the President stressed that the collective efforts, interventions and participation of everyone are crucial in overcoming the economic and social difficulties being currently faced. The President said, quote, "As we celebrate this joyous Hajj festival, I wish to remind the present generation as well as the elderly on the importance of not passing on the burdens of hardship to our future peer groups. Instead, let us nurture them as a proud nation, one that is respected by the global community while ensuring sustainable happiness." Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardene in his message for Hajj says that everyone should resolve to live in friendship and brotherhood during this Hajj festival, putting aside all differences. The Prime Minister points out that equality and living in harmony is the prime objective of Hajj. Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa in his Hajj message wishes that the darkness of misfortune will end and fortune will emerge during this Hajj season. The opposition leader points out that the Hajj festival strengthens social values, builds harmony and reflects good deeds. Eid Mubarak commemorates the Quranic tale of Prophet Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice his son as an act of obedience to God. Hajj is considered the fifth of the 5 major obligations of Muslims. Islamic pilgrims are celebrating Hajj throughout the day by engaging in activities such as meeting parents and relatives and donating to the needy. News First wishes all Muslim devotees a blessed Eid Mubarak. Sri Lankan Airlines flight, which left for Narita, Japan from the Katunayake airport, has returned to the Katunayake due to a technical fault. The duty manager at the airport said Sri Lankan Airlines flight UL 454, which left for Narita, Japan from the Bandaranaike International Airport, has returned to Colombo after 2 hours and 25 minutes due to a technical fault. The aircraft was carrying a total of 301 individuals, inclusive of staff. The pilot of the aircraft had taken this decision as the retraction of the landing gear had not been displayed on the computer system. The passengers on board the flight had later boarded another aircraft bound to Narita, Japan. In other local news, the National Audit Office says that over 40 million rupees for an additional payment made to the supplier in the import of nano-nitrogen liquid fertilizer in 2021 has not been recovered so far. The National Audit Office adds that on the 18th of October 2021, an amount of 253,301,126 rupees was paid for the import of 100,224 bottles of nano-nitrogen liquid fertilizer to the supplier at the rate of $12 and 45 cents per bottle. Although the price of one bottle was subsequently reduced to $10, the National Audit Office says that no steps have been taken to recover the amount overpaid to the supplier. The relevant report shows that in the final accounts of the Commercial Fertilizer Company Limited, the overpaid amount was not accounted for as recoverable and due to the government. The management of the Commercial Fertilizer Company has stated in the relevant audit that the Minister of Agriculture decided to import nano-nitrogen liquid fertilizer based on the urgent need of the country upon the approval of the Cabinet of Ministers. Moving on to sports news, the 21st match, Super Sixers of the ICC Cricket World Cup Qualifier 2023 between Zimbabwe and Oman will begin at 12:30 p.m. local time. Cricket fans across Sri Lanka can tune in to TV1 to watch the live action of the World Cup qualifiers as MTV MBC, the champion network, brings you the very latest of the tournament. That's a wrap of the lunchtime news. Join us again at 9 p.m. for primetime news on TV1.